professional and marketing entrepreneur. So welcome back to another episode of State of the Real Estate Market, where we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about building generational wealth, different things to do in doing that, as well as different entrepreneurship type things that people are doing, what's hot these days. So great topics to come. If you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe on the YouTube channel, the channel as well. Like, subscribe, all that information is helpful. If you or someone that you know may find this information helpful, be sure to share it with them. They'll appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. And all the people in YouTube will appreciate it as well. But today's topic, we're actually going to talk about the top 5 living alternatives after you sell your home in 2021. And why is this a big topic? Primary reason is because I've been getting a lot of messages in regards to people wanting to know, what should I do next? Got it. Okay, there you guys go. I know you guys had a problem in seeing me, but once again, welcome to State of the Real Estate Market with Chris Brown. Top 5 living alternatives after you sell your home in 2021. So I wanted to do this video. I did it before, but wanted to do an update in regards to it, because what's been going on is people are really not able to sell their home and then also move into a new home. And the primary reason is because of what's going on in the market right now, and people are just not aware of what to do with their next step, because a number of reasons. One, it's a bit of the pandemic domino effect. 2, we are shortage of inventory. And another one is that we are still in a seller's market. I know things have cooled off a little bit. It's not mayhem like it was, where people were selling homes in 1 to 3 days. Now people are having to wait a week before they actually get a contract, but people are still offering over offer price. And this is why it's important to understand what your local market is doing. So, we're gonna go ahead and dive on into today's episode. And like I said, top 5 living alternatives after you sell your home in 2021. As I mentioned, we are still in the seller's market. And for those who don't know what a seller's market is, basically a market condition characterized by a shortage of goods available for sale, resulting in a pricing power for the seller. Commonly applied to real estate, as we are doing, with low supply meets high demand. So we have a number of reasons as in why we have a low supply of homes right now, and that's in regards to people who actually are reselling as well as new construction. So I know with a lot of the builders that are out there, they've experienced a lot of delays in reference to supplies, especially the wood, the lumber cost has gone up because it's basically a seller's market for the lumber in a sense. So the sellers have increased their prices because it's a low supply, but everybody still wants to buy a home. So builders want to build, and builders do not have lumber to build. So that means it's placing a delay. And where it becomes a big issue is because a lot of these homes have to have a roof. What is typically the roofing, framing, and trusses made of? They're made of wood. So that places a big delay on that process. So what are the top 5 living alternatives? So first one is lease option. I'm going to talk to you guys about lease option, and it's not the typical lease option that you think, where if you haven't had a lease purchase or done a lease option in the past 5 years, there's a new way of doing a lease option. So it's pretty interesting. Renting, if you're selling your home and you have nowhere to move to, what are you going to do next? You got to move somewhere. So sometimes people are having to rent for the time being. Retirement funds. People are having to live off of their retirement funds for whatever reason. Maybe they may go go traveling. So now they're going to live, they're going to do Airbnbs. So another option there, patience. So people having just plain old patience, you just got to time it in a sense that it makes sense for you as a seller, so that you would have somewhere to actually move to. And then new construction, that is an alternative. However, as I just mentioned, there are some delays, but we're going to go over that today. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So some of the pros and cons with the lease options. Let's talk about it. It's a new method. It's different from what it has been in the past. In the past, people are used to putting down a large amount. I think at some point people were mentioning like 20% deposit, and then the owner of the home would actually have you pay a monthly amount where you would be renting it, and then at the end or at some point you would be able to exercise your option and being able to purchase a home. Or it would be a portion of your monthly rent would go towards your down payment for the home. And then at the end, all of those small portions add up to down payment, and you would be able to exercise your option at that time. Either way, it's a new process. The new process is, the reason that it's different is because it doesn't require as much to put down these days in order to do a lease option. And I say that because a lot of people are like, why would I do that? Why would I do a lease option? Well, if you're in a position where you're going to have to rent, this may put you in a position. Another pro in how this works is when you have the new type of lease option, you're actually presenting what they call a cash offer. So it's basically what happens is there is an organization, investor, however you want to call it, that will actually purchase the home that you are interested in. And they're actually going to pay cash for this home. They pay cash for this home. And then you on the back end, your entry level amount that you would have to put forth is typically 2 months rent, the first and the last, typically in this type of process. And then by doing a cash offer, when you're in such a competitive market, it places you at the higher tier of being able to purchase a home, because what happens is people are competing with FHA, VA financing, conventional financing, and then cash. So cash is typically the top. Cash is king in this market at this time. Doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get a discounted rate, but it does mean that you'll have probably a louder voice in the process. Okay, close faster. Yeah, doing a lease option, you would be able to close faster because, like I said, they are paying cash. So traditionally, FHA takes 30 to 45 days. VA may take about 30 days. Conventional could take a little bit less than 30 days. So it closes faster, it puts you in a position to be able to close faster if you were doing the lease option. Opportunity to test drive the home. Yeah, it's another option. A lot of times people are moving into the area. They are more keen to home ownership. And with that being said, that's probably, it's an opportunity to kind of basically test drive the home. You pay your monthly amount. If it works out for you, then fine, and you exercise your option to purchase a home. If it doesn't work out for you at the end of your lease, for that first year, at the end of that first 12 months, then you will go ahead and just say, hey, I'm not renewing, I'm moving elsewhere, and it gives you an opportunity to get your finances in order, and also an opportunity to actually look at other homes that may be available. You have a roof over your head. Yeah, that's definitely one of the pros, because don't get me wrong, if it's, you're an individual, you may be able to have a little bit more risk. But if you're a person with a family, you have kids got to go to school, being settled and having that consistency of a home and a roof over your head goes a very long way. So this is definitely another benefit with the lease option. So some of the cons, yes, some of the cons. So some of the cons that we have, kind of go through this. It's not yours yet, but it could be very soon. Yeah, like I said, you are renting it from month to month, and all of these payments are placed on a schedule, and you know what the payments are before the home is actually purchased cash. So you know what you're getting into before. It's not like, hey, the property is being purchased, and then they give you a high rate or something along those lines because of, and then you say, hey, I don't want this home. You know what the rate is, you know what the monthly amount is going to be, and you understand what the purchase amount is going to be as well. Yes, it will be a little bit more than what was originally paid for. But keep in mind, with this being a market, especially the way that the market is going, you're probably going to be able to walk into equity because the market has continuously gone up. And that's always something to keep an eye on as well, making sure that your market is continuously going up. Your monthly payment may be a little more than a mortgage payment. Yeah, that is true. Your payment may be a little bit more because that's just the name of the game. They're going to charge you a little bit more than what a normal mortgage payment would typically be. They may be charging you around the local rental rates. And we understand that rental rates are definitely a bit higher than what you can get a mortgage for, because the mortgage interest rates are so low right now that it makes homes very affordable when you have an actual mortgage on it. So keep that in mind. You still have to get financing lined up in order to exercise your option. So once you get into the property, don't forget that, hey, you still need to go ahead and purchase this home. So in the beginning, for whatever reason you went with this option, doing the lease option, just keep in mind that, hey, my work isn't done yet. I still need to purchase this home. So keep that in mind. So keep your credit in line. All right, another option that we mentioned is renting. Pros of renting. You have a roof over your head. You know where you're going. That stability is so key, especially if you do have a family. But just as an individual, just having that stability so you don't have to be so worried and concerned as in where's my next move going to be? Where do I move to next? What am I going to do next? Keep that in mind. No lawn care. You won't have to cut your grass if you're renting typically. Okay, some places you will have to if you get a single family home, but typically you don't have to worry about the lawn care. You have a chance to get your affairs in order. So if your credit was a little shaky, and you sold your home, your credit was a little shaky and you weren't able to get what you really wanted, take the time to rent and also get your bills and credit in line. Some of the cons, sharing space. Yep. If you've owned a home, you will quickly remember why you enjoy owning your own home. If you're renting, especially if you're in like an apartment complex, you're gonna have people above you, below you, on the sides of you. So it can be a little nerve-wracking because now you're transitioning from having basically someone in your space now when you have to actually rent. So keep that in mind. No curbside trash cans. So if you're renting, one of the things that you got to take the trash out. I think one of the benefits with a number of the luxury rentals now is that you can just put your trash out in the hallway and they have a concierge service where they'll actually pick it up for you. Expect to pay more than a mortgage payment if you are not downsizing. Yeah. Rental rates, like I said, are on the higher end these days. So keep that in mind if you are in that position and you are trying to weigh out the pros and cons. All right, storage costs. Yeah, if you are downsizing, you usually have big furniture. If you're moving from a house to like a smaller house or even a townhouse or condo, usually you're going to have big furniture. So keep that in mind, that you're going to have some storage costs. Keep that in mind on top of the monthly amount. So that's key. Retirement funds. Pros of utilizing retirement funds. You are able to pay all cash for your home. So this is an alternative. So some people have been digging into their retirement funds. Like I said, if they're not traveling, if they sell their home and they're not traveling, whatever the situation may be. But if people are digging into their retirement funds and utilizing that cash that they have because they've loaded up, and it may give them an opportunity to compete with the cash offers. Able to pay over appraisal, yes, because if you have FHA or VA financing, if you're trying to pay, they're not going to finance over or any kind of financing. They're not going to finance over what the property would appraise for. So keeping that in mind, if you are able to pay the difference, then keep in mind that you would have the additional funds to be able to cover that. You have a home close. Okay, excuse me. You have a home, you close fast, and less closing costs. So basically what that means is if you end up, you say, exhausting your retirement fund. So that means you have a big chunk that's waiting there because you just purchased a home. You would have a home, and then you would be able to close fast because ideally you would be paying cash, and then you would have less closing costs. Typically, when you are paying cash, you do have less closing costs. So you don't have to worry about a lot of the origination fees and so forth. And origination fees could be thousands of dollars. So keep that in mind. All right, refi at purchasing interest rates. So keep this in mind, and this is where you really need to know what you're doing, because if you do end up purchasing your home all cash, say if you did utilize your retirement funds, there are programs that are out there, and some banks are offering a particular program where if you just purchase a home and you decide and you say you utilize your retirement funds and you do refinance it, you can go through them, refinance it, and they'll actually refinance your home as if you were purchasing it. They will give you interest rates as if you were purchasing it. So keep that in mind. So that would be something just to be aware of so that you would possibly be able to compete in today's market. Got to talk about the cons. There's fees. If you use your retirement funds, there are some fees that you would have to pay back. Pay back borrowed money. You definitely got to pay back your borrowed money. You know, if it's your retirement, it was there for a reason. So you don't want to use it and then just stick it into your home. You know, give or take. You know, you want to go ahead and place that back, because typically they will, if they let you exhaust your retirement or just about exhaust it, then they're going to request that you pay it back and borrow on it. Good old patience. So in this process, I completely understand. Patience is not very common in this market, but you have to have it, just because it's a scenario where you're trying to buy a home. There's not that many homes to buy, and there's a lot of people who want to buy a home. So if you're on the buying side, that's where things get challenging. Now, as a seller, you can sell your home fast, but it's just one of those scenarios where it's like, okay, what do I do once I sell my home? So it's having the patience, and then it may be trying to time it. Truthfully, trying to time it, no one's experienced this type of market before, and for the reasons being, because we've never had a pandemic like this before. A lot of us that are here and alive and kicking and hanging out. So keep that in mind. You will eventually get a home, yeah, with patience. That's always a good thing. Eventually you will. It's just staying on top of it, having the understanding that it may take some time. Like I said, it's a mindset. Understand that it may take some time. Don't put all your energy into it, because, you know, you just don't want to have to settle. And that's sometimes people do that. The cons to having patience, you get fatigue. You know, you may look, you know, one week you may be motivated to look, and the next week you may not be, you know, so from time to time, you may settle just to get into a home. You don't want to do that. As I just mentioned, you know, if you need a 4-bedroom, and like I said, need a 4-bedroom, you don't want to settle for a 3-bedroom, you know, especially, and if you need 2 bathrooms, you don't want to settle for one, especially if you have a 4-bedroom home and 1 bath. That means you probably have 3 or more kids. You have the husband and wife, they have their space, and then now you're sharing the bathroom with the kids. That's a challenge. That is a true challenge. That would be some very interesting mornings, I must say. And the last one here is stress level. Your stress level will definitely go up. And the kids, you know, like I said, they want to be settled. If you're purchasing a home, trying to purchase a home before school started and you weren't able to do so, you know, you're probably definitely feeling this aspect of it, because now that the kids are in school, you don't really want to disturb them as much unless something really comes up. If it's a great opportunity, then jump on it. All right, our last one here is new construction. So with new construction, I want to tell you guys about a few of the pros. You know where you will be living. Okay, that's definitely a pro, because if it's new construction, you typically have to pick out your land site, and you have to pick the model that you want. You get to pick the flooring, all that good stuff. Now, also, if it's new construction, you know that you have warranties. Typically, these homes, a lot of the builders, they have what's called in my area like a 1-2-10. And with the 1-2-10 warranty is, it's typically the first year, everything bumper to bumper type of warranty. Second year, it's like electrical and plumbing. And then the 10-year is the structural. Okay. Structural aspect of the property. So that's always good. And in appliances, those warranties can continuously go on, because a lot of times if you move into a home, it may have like a 2-year warranty on it. But if you register the actual device, then they will extend it. That typically happens with the air conditions here in Florida. So keep that in mind, to make sure that you register your appliances if you end up selling your home and then now you're buying new construction. Some of the cons: when will it be completed? Like I said, there are delays these days. The delays are sometimes they can be predicted. A lot of the builders are getting much better as in when they actually offer the home, or they may do something. And what I mean by offer the home is, a lot of times if they're building a home, because before they were doing, at least in my area, they were doing what they call inventory homes. They had models of all of their homes in the surrounding area. So you knew what the house would look like, what the floors would look like. And some builders, they were like, hey, it is what it is. This is how it's going to be built. It's not going to have that much customized detail to it. So they make it pretty simple so that you don't have that many options, so that they can build the home ahead of time and be able to line up buyers for it. So now they're waiting until they actually get the trusses, because that's been a huge delay for a lot of the builders, is and was the trusses. So keep that in mind. You're not sure when they'll be completed. And also what happens is, I've even heard this, that with some of the builders, they are signing contracts with buyers, but they're not guaranteeing when the home will be completed. So there's another point where they will get to a particular phase. They'll say, okay, well, we know when we'll be able to complete it. So that's typically if they're building from the dirt up. So typically they'll build it from the dirt up, get it until when they have the trusses on, and then that's when they're able to predict when the home would actually be completed. Will I have to bid for it? Yeah. That's I've seen that happen with so much bidding going on. Even some of the new construction, they're having a bidding process saying, hey, we're going to have this lot available. This home is going to be available. If you are interested, let the bidding begin. So that kind of stinks for a lot of folks that are buying. Obviously, the homeowners, people that have already gotten their homes in that community, they're loving it because they see that their equity is going up. So if you are in that process, it's just all about getting involved ahead of everyone else, or not the last people to get involved. If you know that the community is still growing and there's a lot of homes and lots still to be built on, then you can probably, jump into that situation. And then at some point, the equity will continue to go up. But that's something that you have to sit down and kind of weigh out the pros and cons to your finances. Is the value there? Like I said, a lot of these homes, what's happening is people are in a position to actually pay above asking costs. So it may cost, say, $300, but someone's willing to pay $320 for it. So if they're getting financing, then they're going to need to come up with that extra $20,000 typically, because what happens is, if they're asking $300, then what it means is that they feel comfortable with the appraisal coming in at $300. That's typically how new construction works. They're not going to price it at something where they feel that it's not going to price at, or it's going to appraise at, typically. So like I said, we're in a unique market. Things have been very, very interesting. But those are the 5 areas that I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about, because it is very important as in what's going on. You want to know, if you are selling your home, what do you do next? You know, what are your options? Okay. Obviously, with resale homes, there's not that much inventory that's out there. You want to find out where the inventory is. Try to find out if it's anything is going to come onto the market. It's about timing it. You know, everyone has different risk levels. So keep that in mind. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. You know, I always ask you, who's helping you with your largest investment? Buying a home is one of the largest investments many people will ever purchase. So keep that in mind. Who's helping you with your largest investment? If you are thinking about selling your home and you're curious about the value of your home, feel free to check out showmyhomeestimate.com, which is a free website. You can go to that website, check it out, and it will give you the value of your home. It takes about 2 minutes. And now keep in mind, this is a desktop review. This isn't a one-on-one where you're going to get the exact value of your homes and so forth. Like I said, that process takes a little bit longer, but this process only takes 2 minutes, and it gives you a detailed report of how the values are in your area, what homes is recently sold, what homes are on the market, giving you demographic information as well. Free website, takes about 2 minutes for the report. And then, as I always tell everyone, if you are thinking about buying, selling, or investing in the Tampa Bay area, be sure to check out realestatewithchrisbrown.com. Right, that's where you'll be able to find me, and also you'll be able to find me on social media. If you guys are social and you guys want to connect with me on social media, I have Facebook, Instagram. My handle is at Chris Brown RE Pro. I usually always place information that's out there, whether it's in regards to real estate, entrepreneurship, whether it's about buying, selling, investing in real estate. Lots of information that I typically place on social media. We're going to try to, you know, if you guys have a topic or anything like that you guys want to kind of talk about specifically with buying, selling, investing, feel free to do so. Or even if there's questions about certain hot entrepreneur opportunities that are out there, we're going to go ahead and get a series of that type of activity going on sooner than later. So definitely appreciate that. So all of those who are out there, be sure to connect with me if you're buying, selling, or investing in the Tampa Bay area. Be sure to check out realestatewithchrisbrown.com. Take care.